How many sitcom characters is too many for your sitcom? Well, that's something that I've been thinking about on my sitcom. I am James Carey. I'm a sitcom writer with 25 years of experience writing sitcoms for the BBC, and I'm developing a sitcom at the moment. And this morning, literally, I've just realised I've got too many characters. How many characters have I got that's too many? In fact, I have 8. I have the threat of a 9th who is looming in the background. And so 8 is too many for my sitcom. Now, you may be thinking, oh, hang on, there are loads of sitcoms with more than 8 characters in it. So why is 8 a problem for you? And I used to think like you too. Not only that, I've written sitcoms with 8 or 9 characters in it. One of the first jobs I did for the television was a show called My Hero, which was about a superhero married to a lady, and they lived in Northolt, and that had a very large cast. And I also wrote my own show I co-created called Bluestone 42, which has quite a large cast. So I thought 8 characters in my sitcom, my new one, no problem. But I'd missed something. What had I missed? 8 is too many unless you know who the sitcom is about. If you've got one character who is the focal point and everyone else fans out behind them, well then I think you're all right with 8 characters or even 9. And so thinking back, that makes a lot of sense. The problem is my sitcom is about all 8 characters. Now there's another show I'm thinking of where it's not about any one, but about a group of them. It's called Friends. You've probably heard of it. There are 6 of them. Who is Friends actually about? Well, it's sort of about all of them, isn't it? The only thing we can say for certain is it's not about Gunter. But the 6 kind of have equal weight within the show. Now, my show had 8 characters with equal weight within the show, and that doesn't work. At least I can't make it work. You may be a complete genius, in which case you're not listening to YouTube for advice on how to write a sitcom. So very best of luck to you. You don't even need luck. You're obviously doing brilliantly. So for normal mortal people like you and me, we need to work out how this actually works. And so thinking back to the sitcoms that have a large cast, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So for example, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, large cast, brilliant, love that show. It's about Jake, isn't it? He is the central character, and then he has some key relationships with Amy and Captain Holt and with Charles. And then you've kind of got Gina around the side and Rosa, and then you've got Scully and whatever his name is, and Terry as well. But that's the Jake Peralta show, isn't it? What about Arrested Development? Again, really large central characters, but I mean, it's obvious in all of the publicity for the show, it's about Jason Bateman's character, isn't it? It's about Michael, and we follow the journey through him. So that's really, really key, isn't it? And then thinking back, My Hero, the show that I wrote for BBC One back in the day, I wrote 6 episodes altogether over the course of 3 years. That's about Ardlo Hanlon's character, the superhero. And so his name is George Sunday, and he's Thermo Man is his alter ego. And then my own show, Bluestone 42, there's a big cast, but it's sort of about Captain Nick Medhurst. I don't know how the other cast members feel about that revelation, but ultimately, if you look at the picture of the publicity for Series 1, he's standing there in the middle. He's the guy doing the long walk down to the bombs in order to render them safe. Bombs don't go off, cheese goes off, milk goes off, bombs detonate or function. I was taught that by military advisors, and so now I can't unknow that. So he was the guy doing the long walk, and so it's about him, and also uniforms just help everything, military ranks and all that kind of stuff, make it very clear who's who and who's in charge and everything like that. So my own show that I'm developing at the moment, it can't really sustain 8 people of equal weight. and I don't want it to be any one particular one of those characters. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to get rid of 2 characters. It's painful. I'm on draft 2. I like all of the characters, but I'm going to try it without 2 of them. I'm going to merge 2 characters into one, and one character who turns up late, I'm going to try to get rid of her completely. And I'm going to get rid of this mythical 9th figure and remove that from our minds so that we're no longer thinking about 8. In actual fact, that 8 characters is now going to be 6. And we'll see how we go. Really tricky, isn't it? There's one other thing. Who is Modern Family about? Ooh, I mean, I think you could argue it's about Phil Dunphy, really. It's about Phil and his father-in-law. That, to me, seems like the central relationship. But also, it's about that character and his 2 children, Claire and Mitchell. But what they do in that show is they kind of create these clumps of characters and little families who are obviously one big family. And so it's fairly clear who's who and what's what. And they have people talking directly to camera, which I think does save an awful lot of exposition. So that's one for another time. In fact, I've already done a video about that, about whether looking to camera, breaking the 4th wall and voiceover is cheating. It isn't necessarily. Anyway, I thought you'd be interested to get that dispatch from me, a sitcom writer who is still in the business of trying to generate and produce sitcoms. I've learned a painful lesson today. I'd secretly thought it all along that 8 was too many, given the fact that it wasn't about one person. And it's only today that it's crystallized into what I think is now a fairly useful rule of thumb. You may completely disagree and have a whole load of counterexamples, which I would be really interested to hear about. So stick a comment below and tell me your thoughts on how many characters is too many.